Hi, Gators. This is Mrs. Tori.
And this is Mrs. Valentine. How are you this morning?
I am great. How are you, Mrs. Valentine?
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
You know, last night we had quite a night.
Oh, we had a fabulous night. We had our very first annual our Publix math night. And it was so well attended.
So not even at school. It was at Publix.
Absolutely.
So much fun.
We had so many children from grades K through 5 come out and participate. Moms and dads were there. Everybody had a fantastic time. Kind of like doing their worksheets and shopping for things. And
so really, truly real world math problems that they solve inside of Publix.
Hello. Absolutely.
Yes.
Went through the line then. They had to determine how much they spent. And then they got to check it out by going through the cash register. It was fantastic. And then they got hot dogs and cookies and they got a whole bunch of free math things, and Publix gave them
math
baggies.
glass bottles. I saw glasses.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So if you don't mind, I'd love to give a big shout out to all the teachers that helped to make this possible. They came out last night to support us. So I want to give a big shout out to, in kindergarten, Miss Amy Hayes. In first grade, a big shout out to Mrs. Jillian Adams and Mrs. Michelle McDermott and Macy. Macy came out as well. In second grade, Mrs. Seti and Mr. Muzzy came out, and I appreciate that. Third grade, we had Mrs. Harris and we had Mrs. Miller. Thank you for you too. Fourth grade, we had Miss Allen. Thank you. And Mrs. Farmer in fifth grade rounding it up. And then a big shout out to you, Mrs. Tori, for all your help.
And you know, I had so much fun watching the other students, and I brought my own kindergartner around, so we had a really good time. The families enjoyed it. The public staff enjoyed it, seeing all of the kids out and about. So, and you know what was awesome too, because we had reminded our students that we were guests at Publix. So even though we weren't at school, same idea of being kind and working hard counts. And people were so respectful. I didn't see kids running around or yelling. When they got things off the shelf, they put it back nicely. So I have no doubt that Publix would gladly welcome us back again, because our kids were just fantastic. Working hard and being very kind. So thank you.
So thank you all. For all of you who came out and supported us, children, families, teachers alike. Mrs. Kosh as well, thank you for coming out last night as well. She even brought 2 of her children too.
Yes, Mrs. Kosh
didn't take a worksheet, but hopefully they enjoyed themselves.
And so Mrs. Valentine thanked a bunch of people, and we need to thank Mrs. Valentine because this was a lot of behind the scenes planning. So even though our families just showed up for the night and were there half an hour, it did take lots of preparation, coming up with what they were actually going to do there, putting together all of the goodies they were going to get, and arranging everything with Publix. So that was a lot of time and effort for Mrs. Valentine. So we thank her for all that she did.
Math rocks.
And so let's go ahead and look. Here is some pictures of them, so you can see everybody actually in Publix with clipboards and shopping carts. If your families follow our Facebook page, there's even more pictures up there. So
fantastic.
Oh yes, great event. Super awesome. I cannot wait for next year.
I know. We
So
gotta do it twice. We had
I know.
Such a great response.
I know, it was wonderful. So we have a picture of Sammy Woods in third grade here, and this isn't a picture of him in action and what we're recognizing him for, but just a lovely picture of Sammy celebrating reading his Sunshine State Reader book. But Mrs. McCall had told me back when we had Gator games, so it's been a little bit of time, but we wanted to give Sammy a shout out for being kind. He found, not one time, but twice, where somebody had dropped their Gator tickets. So one time it was like literally somebody had bought them and then dropped all of them. It was just a huge amount of Gator tickets. And so they don't have the name on the tickets, and Sammy very easily could have went and just spent them himself. But Sammy thought, you know what, if that was me, I would be sad to have lost my tickets. So he turned them into Mrs. McCall and said, I want to make sure that whoever lost these gets these. And I found him. He did not hesitate to do that. So kind. And Mrs. McCall was able to figure out whose they were. So that kid got reunited with their tickets and got to enjoy doing some games.
Thank you, Sammy. That is wonderful of you for doing that.
Thank you.
Smile.
I know. So kind of him.
Absolutely.
And we do have one birthday today, Mrs. Valentine.
We do. We have Maria Castaneda Roman. So happy birthday to you. Hope it's a special day.
Happy birthday.
The last day of the month, too.
I know.
He just cut it. He just
made the April list. All right. And tomorrow for lunch, our first day of May, we have PB&J sandwich, lean machine combo, sloppy Joe sandwiches, or crispy chicken bites, or those pretzel bites. So lots of options tomorrow. Veggies, we have Popeye side salad or sweet potato crosscuts, apples, pineapple, or juice for fruit, and your choice of milk.
Sounds yummy.
So we do have a couple reminders, Mrs. Valentine. We have, for 5th grade, we have our pictures.
Yes.
So baby pictures, if you have not brought them in, they get brought down to Mrs. Sibley and part of our slideshow for graduation for our 5th graders.
Speaking of graduation, I gave a lot of the 5th grade teachers a little reminder for all those children who've been here since kindergarten, and you know who you are,
Yes.
to wear that T-shirt.
How many
on
do we
Friday.
have that have been here since kindergarten?
27.
27. So
That's a
27
lot.
fifth graders have been at Gulf
Yes.
Highlands from kindergarten
Yes,
all the way through fifth
And
grade.
when I mean kindergarten, I mean the very
Yeah,
first day.
they
of
started
kindergarten.
their first
Day
day
one.
of kindergarten.
Day one. Yep.
Day one
Yep.
to their very last day.
You
So
got it.
they
You
get
got
a special celebration.
Hello. That's
Another
awesome.
special celebration.
Jeez, this is the month.
I
What
know.
time of year?
I am so excited because on May 17th, I already told Mr. Torrey, I am not sleeping at our house. I am sleeping at Gulf Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
And joining me is
Hi, me.
Mrs. Valentine, Mrs. McCall, and Mrs. Kosh.
We'll have a great day.
And a bunch of students that have read all 15 Sunshine State Reader books. So I know
Yeah.
there's a couple that are really mapping out and reading as fast as they can because they want to join us as well. So
Yeah,
by
they make it.
Friday, you need to have
Mhm.
read and conferenced on those so we can have our list and get our invitations out.
Gonna be fun.
And last reminder is
We
tomorrow.
have- tomorrow testing begins
Yes.
for 4th and 5th grade. They have their ELA testing. And so for all students who are in attendance for the test, after your lunch, stop by the Gator Pavilion
Mhm.
and pick up a yummy snow cone because we believe in you.
Oh, yeah.
So show what you know, and it is going to be a
Mhm.
fantastic day for them. They are going to do a fabulous job. They've been preparing
They
for
are.
it since kindergarten.
And I know, I see all the time, I see fifth graders coming down and celebrating like their quarterly
Yes.
checks and their comp
Oh,
checks, and that they've grown so much from the beginning of
Yeah.
the year, or they're always scoring in the green, getting 70% or higher.
Yes,
So
indeed.
they're going to do fantastic.
Oh, wow.
They've been preparing for this and showing what they know all year and working really hard. So
Absolutely.
we know fourth and fifth grade is going to
Absolutely.
do an amazing job.
So get those yummy snow cones. Have
Yes.
fun. It's going to be hot too.
Oh
So
yeah,
That's going to taste really, really
good day to have a snow cone.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Gators, join us in saying our motto: Be kind,
Work hard.
because every day counts. Have a great